Now, from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News Saturday morning.
We are following breaking news right now. Crews are trying to figure out what started this massive 2-alarm fire overnight. Just take a look at the video. You can see the flames roaring. The questions we're asking fire officials this morning. And today, hundreds of people will run and walk to remember this fallen firefighter. The memorial run in his honor and the impact his legacy continues to have on his community. And taking a live look outside, it is going to be another rain-free weekend in the Charlotte area. Can you believe it? We are tracking the warmth and the sunshine. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm Elsa Gillis.
And I'm meteorologist Vicki Graff.
I can't believe it. Another rain-free weekend. It is going to be so beautiful for the entire week.
That's right. And so this is the second weekend in a row where we will be dry. We haven't seen that since January. It is going to be a great weekend to be outdoors. We just cooled off slightly in Charlotte. We're now at 50 degrees, 46 in Concord, 40 in Morganton, and 39 in Boone. You might need a light layer early on, a sweater, a light jacket. You won't need it later today. If you are heading out to the Richard Shelter run in Pineville, it's really a nice start to the morning. By 10 o'clock, we'll be in the mid-60s. Heading through the day today, if you're heading out for a round of golf, absolutely perfect. Upper 70s, plenty of sunshine. You'll need the sunscreen. Make sure to drink plenty of water. I'll be pinpointing when the rain chances return coming up.
We are following several breaking news stories this morning. Charlotte firefighters are investigating what caused this massive 2-alarm fire at a business overnight. Come to your TV and look at this video from the fire department. You can see firefighters on the ground spraying water toward the fire. It started around 1 this morning on Atando Avenue between Graham and Tryon Streets in Northeast Charlotte. No one was hurt. And breaking 2 hours later, firefighters battled a house fire on Northwoods Forest Drive in Northwest Charlotte. One person was seriously hurt. It's not clear what started that fire. And breaking in Caldwell County, deputies are looking for a man they say kidnapped 3 people from a business in Hickory, took them to Caldwell County, then shot at least one of them. Deputies responded to Cannon Drive around 11 last night for a fight. As they investigated, they found one person shot several times. Deputies say this man, Brendan Withers, kidnapped the 3 people and shot one of them. Witnesses say they saw him run into the woods off Cannon Drive. Deputies are looking for Withers and say he has multiple addresses in different counties. If you see him, call deputies. And in Stanley County, deputies say a man was shot to death, but they don't believe it was intentional. The shooting happened around 8:45 last night on Clover Lane off Millingport Road and Highway 73. Deputies told us they believe a stray bullet hit the man. They've not arrested anyone and haven't released the man's name. In the next 30 minutes, 600 people will take part in the memorial run for this fallen firefighter. Richard Shelter died 2 years ago as he battled a fire in Pineville. Reporter Paul Boyd is live this morning as people get ready for that memorial run. Hey there, Paul.
Good morning, Elsa. Yes, this is a very special event for the community of Pineville. About 200 volunteers helping put this together. I signed up and was out here helping move things around since about 5:15 this morning. Many people doing much more than me, literally working their way through, doing final preparations right now. The chip reader ready to get this race started. Again, about 600 people participating. We are looking at about a 7:30 start time for the 10K, 7:45 for the 5K, and of course there's also a 1-mile fun run. Take a look over here. Basically, the parking is just down the road. People are starting to make their way to the start-finish line. This is also where the run begins in earnest, and all of the runners will be making their way down underneath that American flag, if you see in the distance. That is actually hanging from a Pineville fire truck here in honor of Richard Shelter. Once again, this event very close to getting started. Opening ceremony is going to get underway any minute now. We'll check back in with you about 7:30. We'll get some of that crowd moving through and give you the very latest, so stick around for that. Elsa, back to you in the studio.
All right, Paul, thank you. What a wonderful event. Now, we have new developments on a manhunt now in Fort Mill. This man is facing a probation violation after U.S. Marshals tried to serve him a search warrant and instead he took off. Yesterday afternoon, CMPD's helicopter tracked the car Anthony Mincy was driving along I-77. He eventually pulled into the Kingsley Way Apartments complex in Fort Mill. Investigators say Mincy ran from building to building. At one point, they say he made a bogus 911 call. Eventually, a canine tracked him to an apartment. Officials say a car parked in a garage and turned off started this house fire. Now you can see just how much damage there is to the home in Wesley Chapel. We first showed you the scene along Couples Court as breaking news at 5 yesterday. And since then, Eyewitness News reporter Stephanie Tinoco asked investigators whether the BMW involved is tied to a recent recall.
The 2,200 square foot home is no longer livable. The fire marshal says that this fire was accidental, and now he's exploring if a vehicle recall is to blame.
The Union County Fire Marshal says it didn't take long to determine what caused this massive fire in Wesley Chapel.
The vehicle is where the fire started.
But why the car suddenly burst into flames is still a mystery. The owner's BMW wasn't even on.
But we can't tell you the entire chain of events. Just looking at fire movement and intensity patterns, damage, things like that.
Officials say the homeowner opened the garage door to get inside her car to run errands. That's when she faced powerful flames consuming her vehicle.
She closed the garage door, exited the home, and called 911 from a neighbor's house.
Firefighters responded quickly, but the fire was so aggressive, it took dozens of firefighters and tons of gallons of water to get it under control.
Probably in the 75 to 80,000 gallon range.
Last year, BMW issued 2 recalls covering about 1 million vehicles for fire-related issues. An ABC investigation found more than 40 cases in the last 5 years where BMW owners claimed their cars suddenly caught fire while parked and turned off. Investigators in Union County are now working to find out if this homeowner's car may have been affected.
She's got friends and family and great neighbors around her helping support her right now.
The fire marshal told me that he would have a better idea on Monday if the homeowner's car was under recall, which would maybe help explain why it burst into flames. In Union County, Stephanie Tinoco, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
As soon as we get some of those answers, we'll let you know both on air and online. You can find all of our coverage on WSOCTV.com. 7:06 now. Police just arrested 2 people in Texas wanted in connection to a murder in Iredell County. They say Brenda Evie and her boyfriend, Dakota Drake, were pulled over in a traffic stop yesterday in Amarillo, Texas. That is more than 1,300 miles away from the Charlotte area. They have been on the run since Thursday when a woman was stabbed to death in Statesville. Iredell County deputies say Evie and Drake went to a home on Wagon Trail Lane to settle a debt over drugs. Christina Inman and her boyfriend were at the home when the 2 women started arguing. Officials believe Evie stabbed Inman several times, then put her in a car and drove her to the hospital where she died. Evie and Drake will be extradited to North Carolina to face charges, but we don't know when that will happen. New this morning, a Burke County District Attorney employee has turned himself into police for a 32-year-old felony larceny warrant. Our partners at the Morganton News Herald say Bobby Powell turned himself in Thursday for the warrant issued in 1985. It doesn't include victims or details of the crime. Powell helps investigators in the DA's office locate crime victims and witnesses. He'll appear in court on Monday. Police arrested a second person in the murder of a Charlotte mother who was missing for almost 2 weeks. Officers from Charlotte and South Carolina picked up Ashley Helms yesterday in Myrtle Beach. She and Richard Jordan Jr. are charged with killing 21-year-old Alexis Fraley. Police found Fraley's body yesterday morning in an abandoned building in West Charlotte. They say Fraley and Jordan knew each other.
This was a result of a parent dispute between the 2. We're trying to get more information on exactly what the nature of that dispute was that led to this investigation.
Helms will be extradited from South Carolina to face murder and kidnapping charges here. Jordan is set to make his first court appearance in the case on Monday. Channel 9 dug into Jordan's background and found this is not the first time he's been charged with murder. Back in 2008, he was arrested for the murders of 2 men in Gateway Village. Court records indicate he wasn't the triggerman, so prosecutors cut a deal with him to testify against the other co-defendants in the case. And the mother of one of those victims says she understood the deal but didn't like it.
And I know that they did the best that they could with trying to solve my case in particular, but I wish there still could have been a little more time given to him.
Jordan was released from prison after serving 8 years. He pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact to first-degree murder. Changes are coming to Charlotte Mecklenburg schools after this man who used space on campuses for a student program was charged with crimes against children. The CMS superintendent ordered 8 actions, including designating 1 of 5 new CMS police officers be an expert in student program safety. The superintendent is also creating a safety task force to review volunteer and facilities policies to make recommendations. Now, last month, Ricardo Mata was accused of molesting a 7-year-old girl at a camp at Covenant Presbyterian Church. Now, he's facing 2 more indecent liberties charges. Mata's program, called Play Spanish, was in schools and child care centers. All CMS employees and volunteers are required to pass a criminal background check. Superintendent Clayton Wilcox says Mata passed, but at the time he had no prior criminal charges. Now, you can look at the full list of changes for yourself. We've posted the report on our website, WSOCTV.com. In just a few hours, you can start to buy Panthers game tickets for the upcoming season. A limited number of single game tickets will be up for sale online at 10 this morning. Now, if you want to buy tickets at Bank of America Stadium in person, you'll have to wait until Monday. New this morning, the Panthers drafted a defensive back in the 2nd round of the NFL draft. The team chose LSU defensive back Dante Jackson. He is known for his speed, clocking 4.32 seconds in the 40-yard dash at the combines. Now, the team also picked up the explosive, versatile, and powerful DJ Moore in the 1st round. Yesterday, the team introduced the talented wideout at Bank of America Stadium. Moore says he'll wear the number 12 jersey this season. The Panthers will draft 2 more players today with the 21st and 24th picks in round 3. 7-Eleven now taking a live look outside from our Speedway cam. Meteorologist Vicki Graff has an update on your beautiful weekend forecast from Severe Weather Center 9.
Well, it certainly is a nice start to the day. A lot of sunshine here in Charlotte. I am tracking a few areas that are dealing with some fog. It's not quite as bad as it was this time yesterday, but the visibility just dropped in Rock Hill. You might not be able to see about a mile in front of you. It's also low in Lancaster, so take it slow if you're in any of those spots. On our threat tracker today, a low threat for morning fog. It's not as widespread as it was yesterday, and we're going to stay dry through the afternoon. A lot of sunshine, but that sun strength, it's getting higher and higher and stronger, so you'll need that sunscreen if you're going to be out. I'll show you when we are looking at rain chances returning coming up.
Calling for a federal investigation. New at 7:45, the 2 reasons a South Carolina lawmaker says an investigation is needed after this deadly prison riot. At 7:30, the flyers the Black Political Caucus say are misleading voters and who it says is behind them. But first and new this morning, South Carolina lawmaker Lindsey Graham thinks President Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. The key deal, he says, could make that happen.